Did you see any other creative ways how folks are determining what the skills gaps are?
That's a great question. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Well, yeah, I think I would say individuals often have a hard time identifying their own skills gaps. I think I'm the best at everything I do. My fiance would disagree with that statement. So I would say individuals aren't great at identifying their own shortcomings. So what it really is would be through usually a top-down look. So from the C-suite, from the CHRO, maybe from the learning executive, having to identify it kind of from the outside in, from the top down, pick your metaphor. So that's usually the way we would recommend going about it. That said, there is another framework that we actually use here at Exceller to help bring some objectivity to our own internal self-reflections. I guess that's a good way of putting it. We actually use the OKR framework, so of the objectives and key result framework. And we actually use that as a way of goal setting for each quarter, and then determining whether or not we're hitting our objectives or we're coming up short. And then we actually bring that methodology into our conversations with our direct managers to say, here's what I was trying to do this quarter. Here's where I succeeded. Here's where I failed. And then we can actually use that to inform the conversation and identify, well, perhaps it's because I have a skills deficit in a very specific area that I'm routinely coming up short on one of my key results. So again, I think the OKR framework for an individual is definitely a good way of bringing some objectivity to your self-reflection.
I think that also creating a culture, not just of learning, but also of equity and being an inclusive culture, and bringing those types of things to the self-assessment at the organizational level, at the department level, and at the individual level is also really important, because so many people are afraid to be punished if they fail, or if they're not the top performer, or things like that. And I think that organizations need to understand that it's okay to fail if you're setting really aspirational goals and things like that. And really creating a safe environment where employees feel empowered and enabled and encouraged to be honest and open with their self-assessment. Because if that doesn't happen, your skills gap assessment is going to be that much harder to complete if people aren't being fully open and are not being encouraged and rewarded for doing that.
Right. All right, guys. Well, Matt Donovan and Kevin Vochen, I want to thank you guys so much for coming down. Great job at answering that last question. I thought I threw you guys a curveball, but you had it covered. And we learned about another tool that Exceller has to help folks. So once again, guys, the ebook is How to Be Strategic About Learning and Development. You'll see a link down in the description. We recommend you get a hold of it. And if you can use their expertise, reach out to the guys, and they would be glad to assist. And best of luck to everybody in their learning and development programs for the rest of the year. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.